Hi, Laura. How are you doing? I'm lighting my candles like I always do. It's a little lighter out. Hi, Kristen and Lori and Rick, if you're there. Yeah, it's bright. It's brighter. I guess we're still moving towards long days. So, how's everybody doing? How was your week? How are you feeling? I'm doing pretty well. I posted about it on Facebook, so you might have seen. Oh, cool. Laura's researching aloe varieties. You're such a good plant person. I really, I'm just like completely exhausted from last night. I went to a march that was actually right in my neighborhood, which was amazing to begin with. I missed you too. And that I probably walked like from my house to the march, then on the march, then back to my house, probably like 4 miles, maybe, or 5 miles. And then today I probably walked about 6 miles. So I'm pretty wiped out. And also just like all the energy of the whole march, which was really, I thought, really good. I'm sorry to see now that there's some violence happening up on Capitol Hill. It's really unfortunate. It looks like somebody with evil intentions might have harmed some protesters, but so yeah, there's a ton of momentum right now, and I think anger is part of that. But the energy today in the march was like super good. It was like really unified, and we marched through a lot of neighborhoods, and people were like out on their businesses and porches and in their yards and stuff. And I don't know. I heard there were 10,000 people marching. So, hi, Steve. Hey, from the Phils. Cool. So, yeah, so it's a movement, and it's going to keep going, and it's going to require a lot of focus and sustained energy. And I'm here for it in the ways that I can be. Lori's doing better. Pain, inflammation, readjusting meds. Yeah, I'm glad that I can still that I can march right now. Like, I feel like since my body is able to do that, I need to get it there. And it was good to go with my daughter today. She's probably got maybe more energy even than I do, but like I was talking to my parents, who my dad's 80 and my mom's turning 80 this year, and they were like kind of wondering, did we see any older people marching, and what did they think? Is it something they could do? And I didn't see very many older people. I mean, I saw people like maybe in their 50s and 60s, but I think it's partly because of COVID. A lot of older people are still not willing to put themselves at risk like that, and that's completely understandable. And also, it's a lot of strain. I mean, luckily there are lots of people handing out water and and snacks, so people wouldn't get dehydrated and stuff like that. But it's a lot of strain on the body, and so my parents said that they're donating money to various causes, and that's going to be their role. And I think that everybody has a role to play, and not everybody can get out into the streets. Not everybody has money. So we all just have to figure out like what are we willing to do, and it's going to be different for everybody. So anyway, it's really nice to see all of you guys, and I hope you have had a good week and maybe are ready for a relaxing guided meditation. I feel like I did it so many nights with you guys for so long, and then it was good to have a break, and doing it weekly is nice right now, but it was also like, it was weird not to do it every night, and that was also good for me. And I don't know. I mean, I've been focusing on my own practice, but it's really good to be motivated by that. It was good to have that motivation with this daily thing where I connected with you guys. So hopefully you have a place where you can come onto your back, and maybe, or you could sit, and maybe that's in your living room like I am. I don't know if I said hi to you, Steve, but hi. And if it's on your bed, that's okay. Or maybe you're sitting up on a cushion to meditate. That's what I'm doing. But as always, I'm going to speak to you as if you're laying down, because it's 9 o'clock and this is intended to be relaxing. So coming onto your back, and maybe it's cool enough in your house that you'd like to have a blanket covering you, or a pillow underneath your head, or even I like to sometimes put a pillow kind of underneath my thighs and then have my knees bent over that so that my lower back is in a relaxed position. So finding your way to the place that suits you best for 15 or 20 minutes, and allowing yourself to be very surrendered. So laying back, reclining, bringing your body into this supine position. And if you're feeling pain anywhere, or you're feeling like I am, you're feeling weary or exhausted, or maybe you're emotionally kind of dealing with all of the, both the positive excitement of this movement that's happening in the world right now, and also maybe some fear or anger, just bringing that all with you as you lay down, and giving yourself some space to kind of let it down and let it go, and bring yourself into stillness in your body, and really feeling your body. So like you're re-embodying yourself completely. You could close your eyes and just allow yourself to come into your breath. So really feel the breath coming in and out through your nose. And feel the quality of the breath as it enters your nose, as you pull it in, as your body reshapes itself to accommodate the air that you're bringing in, as your lungs inflate, and then as you let it go, as you expel the air back out of your lungs, and again your body reshapes itself, and then out through your nose. So there's a whole process going on over and over again that we often are not paying that much attention to. We take it for granted, which is a good thing, but bringing ourselves into greater awareness of the breath now during this time, and the process of breathing, noticing what it feels like. Sometimes helps a lot to close the eyes and really let your face relax, so that all of the tension that has gathered during this day or during this week when you weren't meditating is softening. That's really presumptive of me. I'm sure that you were still doing your meditative practices. So letting your jaw relax, letting it soften, maybe letting the lower jaw kind of unhinge a little bit from your skull, so it's just slightly, your mouth is slightly open, maybe, just slightly. There's no tension in your teeth, no clenching, no gripping. The tongue is soft. So feel how your tongue can totally release all of the tension of the day. Think how much your tongue worked for you today to make words and to swallow and to eat. Your tongue does a lot of work. It's a muscle. So letting it just like be very relaxed in the bottom of your mouth, like maybe almost like this lower jaw and the bottom part of your mouth is like just a little cradle for your tongue. So your tongue can totally let go of all the work it does. And you can feel that all the way back into your throat. And in fact, the back of your throat and your vocal cords and all of that tissue could relax and soften as well. You might take a big inhale in and just kind of sigh it out. Just let it go. If it feels good to sigh out through your mouth, you could do that. So just releasing not just the tension in your body, but also all of the tension that's been whipped up and created in your mind, particularly about all of the things that are going on in the world right now. We have to have a refuge, a place to come back to that is peaceful, so that we can recharge ourselves for our next strategic movements in the world, whatever that is for us. So bringing our nervous system into a state of rest and calm. So you might kind of notice in your face if there's anywhere where you can really perceive that there's still places where you're not softening or relaxing. For me, it's usually my jaw or my eyes. So feel how heavy the eyes can be and how much tension you can release around your eyeballs so that they're like floating in the eye socket. There's no crunching around your eyes to hold them and move them. You don't need to move them. You can let your eyelids cover the eyes and feel how the eyeballs are just like floating in there. No need to use them. They're decommissioned for the moment, as is your tongue. It's kind of weird, but we don't realize how much time during the day that we're just constantly moving and assessing things and trying to make sense out of the world visually and also via speaking and trying to put language to things. So just giving it a break, just letting it go. It's very valuable. It's also valuable not to have to come up with answers to things and to just be able to rest and let other people take care of things. Let the world sort itself out for a short while as you release. And feeling, of course, your torso, the back of your chest, the rib cage against the floor, and feeling very heavy in that way too. So not only are you resting the eyes and the tongue inside your mouth, but you're also resting your heart. There's a lot of sensation, we'll say, or of feeling in our hearts right now as we navigate through this time, which includes quite a bit of uncertainty, perhaps fear, also just grief and sadness about the pain of the world and the pain perhaps that we have participated in causing for other people through our own ignorance or lack of action or understanding. So just allowing yourself to lay that down, to lay your heart down, to let it go. Give it a break. Just as you are, the words and the visual effects, and it's hard to let go of your sense of sound and hearing, but you can soften it just like you can, if your eyes are open, you can soften your gaze. You can soften what you're taking in through your ears. So there's like background noise and there's ambient noise. And you can hear it, but it's not capturing your attention much. And if it does, you can kind of just release it. So in a sense, it's like you're not reaching out for the sound and trying to understand what it is. You're just letting it kind of circulate around you and kind of be the soundtrack for your meditation. You might be able to, if there's sounds that are bothering you, just kind of identify them and let them go. So laying your eyes down with gravity, letting them soften and release, and your sense of sight. Letting the words stop being formed, letting language go. Trying to let go of the need to make words and put language to everything so that you can understand it better. And letting your heart relax and not have to feel so much and understand so much in that way through your heart. I think you probably know what I mean by that. We have a lot of sensation in our heart about the way that we perceive things and feel things. And then also your belly and your stomach, just all of the digestive organs, just allowing them to release and to detach from any sensation in your gut or worry about what's happening in your gut. Like your gut's doing its job, it's always going to be working on some aspect of digestion to some degree or clearing things through, but having faith in its ability to detoxify. We hear that word a lot in certain ways. Like your body has this amazing ability to digest and detoxify itself. So just letting go of any kind of over-identification with your belly and your gut. Letting it be very soft. And feeling the heaviness of your lower body, all of the work that your lower body has done for you perhaps this week, or just like I said, for me, all of that walking, I think probably I logged about 8 to 10 miles in less than 24 hours. So my legs and my feet hurt and are so tired. So letting the apparatus that you use to walk and march and just let it go, let it relax. And then your hands, we experience the world a lot through our hands, by touching things, and we've learned not to touch ourselves quite as much during this pandemic time, not to touch our faces or to be careful about the surfaces that we're touching and handling. So see if you can let your hands soften and be very relaxed and heavy. So all of that kind of sensing and connection with the world is releasing. And then just again, bringing your attention back to the breath. You might have, as you were listening to my words, perhaps you were able to forget about the breath for a moment, or at least have less awareness of it, which is fine. But now that the rest of your body is releasing and detaching from the world in this way, maybe you could bring yourself back into kind of the pure awareness of your breath. So feeling the breath in a very complete way again as it comes in. So feeling all of the parts of it as it comes in through the nose and into the lungs, filling the lungs, and then as it leaves your body. And then there's that pause before you take the next breath. There's that gentle pause. So almost like as you've let go of all of these other aspects of your sensory and feeling body, we'll say, or your experience of the world, you can just be more purely with your breath and with the experience of your breath. So inhaling and exhaling. And feeling how, in this way, you're so connected to other beings in the world who are also breathing inside their homes and out on the streets and wherever they are breathing. We're all living together on this planet at this time, and we're all breathing together, breathing the same air. And we're probably breathing in other people's air. We know we are, as a matter of fact, which is why a lot of us are wearing masks right now. So one thing the epidemic or the pandemic has really shown us is just how connected we are, whether we want to be or not. Because not only are we breathing the same air and breathing in other people's air and their droplets, perhaps, but we're also touching things that other people have touched. And this kind of awareness of our interconnectedness has been pretty interesting, especially combined with our separation from others. So it's kind of paradoxical. And so we're kind of bringing ourselves back into the center in that way. We're coming out of our homes and we're wondering if this pandemic is really as serious as we thought it was, and what does it mean to us. And we feel like rooted in the reality that we know we've lost a lot of people to it, but we also don't know what's going to happen. And so there's just like this new sensibility that's coming through. And it's a little bit scary. But it's also exciting, and that combined with our awareness of this unrest that's happening in the world around racism, and trying to understand our own place in all of that. So breathing with it all, just breathing with it, feeling safe and insulated in your own body to some degree, even though you know that you're interconnected, feeling safe and cocooned right now in your own body, really embodying yourself. So coming home to your body again and again. And just taking one last look at yourself before we start to bring this meditation to a conclusion. And in doing so, noticing if there's anywhere in your body or your breath where you can lay down just a little bit more of yourself, where you can surrender a little bit more, whether it's language or sensation in some way, or grasping for the sounds in your environment, or tension in your muscles, or something about your breath that you can soften into. And then from there, you could just begin to bring a little bit of movement into your body, perhaps into the hands and feet, just waking yourself back up a little bit to go forth into your evening. So with that, you could, if you're staying, you can stay, but you could also come back up to your seat and finish this out in a seated position by finding your long spine and finding your breath in an upright position. So feeling how grounded you can be in your seat and how your spine lengthens up out of that, right up through the crown of the head. So feeling heavy in the seat and also lifted. Feeling these kind of paradoxical dualities, I guess. The heaviness and the lightness, the sinking and the lifting, and finding your place in the middle of all of that. So taking some nice balanced breaths in and out through the nose. And then maybe bringing the hands together at your heart and bowing your head to your own practice, to your own inner teacher, your higher self, or your higher power. Namaste. And I'll see you in a week on Sunday night next week, which will be the 14th of June, and at 9 o'clock. And I'm sure a lot will happen this week in your life and in the world. So thank you, namaste. Thank you so much.